This week's episode is proudly sponsored by Texas Roadhouse, where there's legendary food with legendary service. I'm back, baby.
He's back. He's back.
Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are
Ryan and John.
On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand.
Skovey Skove.
Big thank you to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Big shout out to our Patreon people.
We should have read the ad, but it's all right.
Takes a lot of, we'll cut it in at the end. It takes a lot of people to put this show together. It's all happening. Guys, hi.
Hey,
I'm back.
First of all, Ryan's back.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Scary. I'm back,
scary.
baby.
It's funny. Just kidding. I was
Cool.
looking for the... There it is. He's back.
I don't get it.
No, he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, Hawaii, pretty all right. Pretty cool.
Did you miss your wife who was at home?
No, he didn't.
I did. My wife, really? Funny bit. I missed her.
Back to have you have. Wow, what?
Whoa,
English?
whoa,
Back
whoa.
to have
Yeah.
you. Good to have you back,
Good to
Ryan.
have you back. Big Death. Nice to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a funny callback to last week.
I get it, right? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
That was the
Big
best
into
when we
death.
were texting about the episode.
Calling me
You're like,
Big
I
Death.
haven't watched the whole thing, but that's probably
I
a
watched
good
some of it, not all of it.
And then you finally watch it and he comes back to the text messages and goes, I get it now.
I get it now. At like 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, pretty funny. Well, but, you know, as we know, the show can't happen for more than a week without me. So
It's true.
let's just get right into it. Let's just
Actually,
talk about...
I felt like it was a great energy last
I
week.
was. Annie and I were talking about how
It's so
it's
sweet.
kind of an interesting episode because you're the last person who has you haven't missed a single episode. So by
Yep.
missing last week, we are now like clean slate.
128
everyone's there,
episodes I
you know?
did straight, but
Yeah, well,
now
had to go to Hawaii, didn't you?
Just
yeah.
had to go.
Yeah, pretty much. I did. Yeah. You would too.
Give us a
What are you talking about?
20-second
Overview.
wrap up of how Hawaii was because I mean, or you can go longer. I think it's interesting.
No,
but-
20 seconds.
The weather was fantastic. We were in Oahu. We got to surf in Waikiki. We hiked Diamond Head. We got to drive up to the North Shore for a day. That was kind of like, rainy, but like all in all, we had great weather the whole time.
Nice.
Caught my tan, which is great.
Oh, I was gonna say you do look tanner, which is kind of cool.
I can honestly say I had less of the greatest time ever because we were in Oahu, and the whole time I was like, oh, the last time I was here, I was on my honeymoon, and Cara wasn't there.
Oh, that is so sweet.
I'm not buttering you up. I'm truly saying
She does not believe
it was a
word you
bummer.
say.
It was. I was like sad the whole
Tell them
time.
the cookie story.
Oh yeah.
You didn't get her the cookies?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I got the cookies.
Okay, good.
Oh.
I got the cookies.
But it almost didn't happen.
It almost didn't happen because last Friday, the Honolulu Cookie Company was celebrating their 25th anniversary. Can you believe that? So they closed all the
mazel.
stores at 4 o'clock. The exact moment that I was going to get the whole time we went to, they have little free samples. We were in that store every day of the
Amazing.
trip. Every day
So
eating
good.
cookies. And I was like, I'll wait till the end so I don't have to carry it around, put it in my luggage. Like, I'll just buy it on the last day. Couldn't do it. I had to wake up in the morning when the store opened to go before our taxi took us to the airport. I had to sprint down, past the international marketplace,
Yeah.
get the cookies,
But
save
you
the day.
secured the bag, though.
Oh, I got the bag, certainly, and
Very
then
nice.
some, and then some. So
That's very nice.
highly recommend it. May's a great time to go to Hawaii.
Kara still seems very unsure over there.
Yeah,
We can zoom in on her.
I realized the second day of the trip wasn't a bit. She wasn't like, oh, haha, I'm jealous of you. She's like, no,
No,
like,
I'm
shut up.
pissed.
I don't want to talk about it.
Please stop.
She was
Yeah.
emo on the show last week.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was
I
nice
know.
and dark.
Yeah.
You saw it, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I was wearing this exact same sweater,
Aw,
which is
cute.
bright.
Well,
You're trying to cheer yourself
That's a thing
up.
depressed
okay,
people do.
You know what? Yeah, it's true.
As
You're
you
trying
would
to make
know.
your setting
Subtlety
better.
is not a thing we do in the Tafolla house, apparently. So,
No.
anyways, welcome back to What the Podcast. What are we talking about today?
Oh.
Yeah, what's
So many
even going
amazing
on now?
things.
A lot of amazing things.
Water.
I'll tell you what,
Big stretch.
this freaking Taylor Swift album is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's teaming up with Matt Healy from.
Because they're dating.
They're dating.
There's so many conspiracies.
Now,
that I
now
can
that's not
talk about.
confirmed that they're putting out an
No,
album.
they're
but
dating. They're like
They're in
holding
love.
hands.
They're holding hands. They're kissing. They're
I
seen
don't believe a
leaving.
word she's
You
saying.
guys,
Electric
there's
Lady
an entire
Studios.
conspiracy that Midnight's played backwards. It was like, oh, it can be played counterclockwise or clockwise. The way that it is now is all about like her love with Joe. If you play it opposite, it's all about the breakup going into Matt Healy.
See, this is the hoops that the fans
And
will
all
go
this
through
stuff-
to say
there's-
that she planned it all along.
There's a lyric that says, and when I'm with the band, they ask, do you have a man? And I say, I don't remember. That's in Bejeweled.
Okay.
And the 1975 came out with merch of a T-shirt that says the band. And
Now-
about 4 months ago, Taylor Swift surprised fans at the 1975 concert by being a guest star.
Now, is it possible that she did just go through a big breakup and she wasn't scheming the entire time to release an album,
No, I
Beautiful
didn't work
Mind
that way.
style?
I think she literally
She's-
broke up. I think they
I-
probably broke up months and months and months ago.
Uh-huh.
And she's probably been dating Matt Healy for a while.
Dang.
Because that's always what
Hot
happens.
take.
In similar news, at the Taylor Swift concert, John, did you see this? Phoebe Bridgers. Are you hip to her?
I've heard the name.
She's
I'm
got
not
sad
hip
girl
to
music.
her. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
she's
She's a
dating
part
a
of
sad
Boy
boy.
Genius. A couple, I want to say a year ago now, actually, she covered Bo Burnham's song, That Funny Feeling, from his special Inside.
Oh, okay.
And now, jump ahead, they're together.
dating.
They're together. Yeah, they're
No.
dating. And an even more interesting turn of events at the Taylor Swift concert, Keith Urban posted a video of him and Nicole Kidman, his wife, dancing, having a great time at the concert. And right in the middle behind them is the two of them kissing, confirming
Yep.
their relationship on accident. Phoebe Bridgers and
So
Bo
good.
Burnham.
So
Can
good.
you
Do
believe
we
that?
like them together? you think?
Yes.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
And it's a
certainly.
lot of sad
Yeah, sad
feelings,
boy,
but-
sad girl, living in a sad world. It works.
It works. I
It
mean,
just
come
works.
Sure.
Okay, Annie, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just
Do we want to hard launch anything for you? Is that anything to
Oh.
on.
report?
Are you?
hard launch.
Are you?
Yeah,
seeing anybody
accidental hard
at the
launch.
moment?
No, no.
If I see you sound like my grandmother. Oh my god. Jesus.
That's what
She's
these-
actually wondering.
That's what these
so.
coffee dates are for, Andy.
my grandmother sits down and she goes, "Your love life?" Like not even like a question, just like
Oh, yikes.
a
Whoa.
Right off
straight up
the-
statement. Your love life.
Wow, your love life.
Question mark?
Your love life.
Grandma.
Okay.
Listen,
So that's a no. That's a
I'm really hoping for an arranged marriage,
no. Okay.
which I've made a committee of people to find me a
Okay.
husband. And they're
Please don't
slacking.
tell me. I'm
Is that us? Are we the committee?
Yeah. What? You guys been on the committee for like a year and a half, and you've done nothing with it.
I haven't been paying my committee dues.
Yeah, I didn't even know you got.
You're
we were,
booted
we were
from the
meeting.
union.
Okay, well, all
You'll
you have to
hear
do
words.
is release a cover of, a famous song
Yeah,
from
who
a
do you
Netflix
want,
special.
Who do you want to date?
Okay.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is too much pressure.
anybody.
Myself.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, do you have
Yeah,
any music?
Typical.
Do I have music?
Harry
Yeah.
Styles isn't dating anyone right now.
I thought he was dating a boy.
What?
Harry Styles.
Oh, you didn't see that? There's pictures of him like walking down the street holding hands with this like mystery guy.
What?
Mystery boy.
Mystery boy.
Good for him.
I haven't heard anything about Harry in a while. All I know is that he's in Europe doing his tour right now.
Oh,
I-
yeah. He's
I-
definitely
Wait,
seeing a
didn't-
little French boy or something.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I thought I heard that on James Corden last show that he like alluded that 1D is getting back together
Yeah, well.
He said there's a group chat. Someone said they started a new group chat.
with all the boys in it.
Yeah, all the
including,
boys.
including
It was Simon
Liam?
Cowell.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell started
Yeah, we
it.
Simon Cowell's
reported on
Please
that.
remove me from this chat.
We were reporting on that conspiracy for a couple weeks. And
Yeah.
Kind of
What
fell
a-
flat, huh?
What a letdown when the conspiracies aren't true.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's
Yeah.
really upsetting. But
Like,
I
what's
will
the
say,
point?
I mean, you're not gonna agree with me because you
Go
don't
ahead.
like James Corden. But I thought his last carpool karaoke was really sweet and it was nice. But
I didn't
you
watch
will
it.
disagree because
With Her Honor, Adele.
yeah, with Adele.
Adele.
And
Her
I
Majesty.
love that like Adele picked him up. I don't know if you watched it.
Didn't
but
watch it.
Adele like
Saw the
picked,
thumbnail.
surprised him, like went to his house while he was
Oh.
sleeping. It was like, we're gonna do your last carpool karaoke, and drove him to work for the last time.
Cute.
I thought that was cool.
You know what? It's the last episode. I'll let you talk about. Go ahead. How was it? Did you see the whole?
I didn't see the
closing
whole thing,
episode?
but I saw the markers. I watched the carpool karaoke because I like carpool karaoke. I
Right,
always thought that
right.
bit was cool, and it was really sweet. And then also, but it was funny because they make a joke like Adele, apparently Adele doesn't know how to drive. And so
Okay.
she is like driving, but also there's that thing too a while back where when he did the Justin Bieber one or one of the Justin Bieber ones, somebody like posted this video on Twitter of the car being towed by this trailer. It looks like he's driving.
Yeah, it's like a
And
TV set thing.
And he came out saying that he does sometimes drive. Like and he said like he went through all of them. He's like, I was actually driving here and I wasn't driving here like that. And so, but on Adele's that she wasn't driving because at the beginning she's like, I don't know how to drive.
Amazing.
It was so crazy.
I know a lot of New Yorkers don't know how to drive.
Right.
'Cause
I would
why?
kind of love that, like, I don't drive. Like,
You'd love to not drive?
yeah, I would love to have like just constantly have like the car come pick me up.
I do think I get a lot more done if I.
Oh,
did.
Aislinn doesn't drive.
Well,
I mean,
Aislinn doesn't have her license.
but does she live in a
And
She
then
lives
no,
in Portland.
is Portland like a walkable
Yeah.
city?
It's metropolitan
Well, there you have it. Do they
Yeah.
have like
buses.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between like having a license and also like not
needing to
and
drive.
not needing to drive. Saying
Yeah, right.
I think you should get a license. Like you should learn how to do it. Now whether or not you want to do it is like
Sure.
up to you. But I do think like it does it because like that's the
feel
other
like
thing. If you
it's-
don't have a license, like how do you do anything? Because like think about when you apply
What do
for
you
a
mean?
job. It's like you put
You
your
can get an
license
ID.
down.
Your
You
ID.
can get an ID
or a
but, like,
passport?
I don't know. I just feel like it would look better to like have a license. To
Mm.
say
Oh,
that you
you're
did
classist.
It.
I
Completion.
get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds pretty classist to
Yeah,
me.
that's exactly what I am. How did you know? That's where I was
Classist.
going.
Yep.
I'm classist. Thank you.
Dang.
Oh, you want to be in the like upper class? You want us to like make you part of the royal
I'm just
family?
saying, like, it should be
wanna
a
be part of the
standard
1%?
as a 16-year-old. Like, you should go and get your license. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you think you're seeing it as more of like a rite of passage
Sure,
as a young
yes,
adult
exactly.
to get your
Yeah.
driver's license.
and I think it's important that like, because if you don't want to drive or you can't afford a car, that's fine. Like take public transportation. That's awesome. But I'm saying like you should getting a license is relatively like inexpensive.
in case you ever need to steal a car
It is
in an
interesting because
emergency.
you need a car to get your license.
Sure.
You need
Well,
to
you have
at
to
least
use
borrow
your
Maybe there's
someone's.
something there, right? Yeah, maybe there's like room for reform there. Like maybe the DMV should provide a loaner car or something.
There's
But
a lot of room for a lot of reform, and they're trying to reform, and it's not going well.
Yeah, that's what I
Sure.
hear. Speaking of government and reform, government agencies, we've been hot lately
Ugh.
in
Oh, yeah.
Congress.
Hot.
Yeah.
Too hot. We're
cooled off.
Some would say red hot.
Yeah.
Because they are reaching the point. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're reaching a point where this country is going to exceed the debt ceiling. Is that correct?
Yep.
And if we do exceed that debt ceiling,
What's the ceiling?
I believe it's like
Trillions.
trillions
So
of dollars.
high.
It's like
Trillions of
huge,
dollars.
but we're
Hey,
way
Siri.
there.
What is the debt ceiling of America?
Good question.
Good thing you clarified. Okay, this.
Yeah. First of all,
tell
we're
me
gonna cancel
anything.
Siri. Let's cancel Siri.
Series canceled.
She didn't say anything.
It's an astronomical number, right?
It is high. Yeah.
And if we
Here we go.
if
It
And we're
is
back.
31.4 trillion.
31.4 trillion. If we exceed that level of debt that this country is on, how do we reach that by
How did we get in
spending
so much
money,
debt?
spending money, wars, yeah, right?
Spending
Government
money, wars.
programs and everything, government spending. If we exceed that, we could
Diplomacy.
basically fall into like huge financial crisis.
Which
Yeah.
means
It's
crashes.
I don't, and that's
I
the
don't know
funny
what that
thing is like
means.
I don't really know what it means either. Like, how are we in debt to ourselves? Are we in debt to other
the
countries?
dollar,
the government will shut down, right, or something.
the
like
American dollar would.
that. That's what I heard
takes a
too.
hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, like our trade, so then we're almost getting more in debt because like our dollar means less to the world because
Oh.
like our collateral isn't as good and whatever.
I always heard
That
that
is my like
But wouldn't
one
that make-
economic class
Right.
in
Wouldn't
college
that make people want
understanding.
to travel here? Because our money is less.
no,
Not
it's not the same.
necessarily because
American
America's one
dollar
of the
plays
most
a big
dangerous
role.
countries in the world.
America
Really?
is
Yeah, if you go for like crime per capita,
okay.
America's up
Let's
there.
check that.
Oh,
I'll
check
check
it
that.
out.
Not sure. Let's get a fact check going.
Like, because think of the like we're almost. I don't want to say number
I
one,
think
but we're like
infrastructure based.
gun-
I feel like we'd be safer than most. You know what
gun
I'm saying?
violence is extremely high in America, where most other
Right,
countries
right.
isn't. You're way more likely to die by a gunshot in America than practically any other country.
Totally, because
Besides, like,
but
maybe
that's
3 or
because
4
we have
others.
more guns in this country, and
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
that
there's a lot of
automatically
factors.
is gonna make our crime
higher gun
statistics
rate.
higher.
Yeah.
So you want to know what the most dangerous country in the world is
Yes.
based off of stats?
Yes.
We're not even in the top 10. Afghanistan is the highest.
What year was this list?
I mean, I just feel like like in
The
a
Taliban
sense,
is running their country.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, in a sense, if you think about like actual like danger, I feel I
would
do
say-
feel like,
I would say-
like crime statistics is different. I feel
Yeah.
I would
like,
say maybe
but
we're top 11. We might not be top 10.
we're not even in the top 10. Let's
Okay.
see. I'll find out more.
Find
information.
out
I-
where we're at because it's up there compared to the countries in the world.
I'm telling you right now, I'm in the 30s. Oh, here we are. We're 36.
Okay,
That's
so
a lot.
it's a
That's
far cry
pretty-
for number 1.
36.
Not too far.
Sure, but like
36 is closer
Again, you
to
t-
1 than 100.
you know what?
I guess.
Yeah.
We are in the top 40.
Technically,
You are
yes.
correct. And Billboard does report on the top 40.
Oh,
Listen,
my
I
gosh.
had always heard that our country being in any amount of debt was like good. Like it was like helpful for the like world
Is
economy.
that what they told you?
I just
Oh,
like
shut up. Okay. Yeah.
no. You're right.
Follow
You're
me.
right.
Oh, really? Okay. Explain the debt crisis. Go ahead, Annie. No, this is the debt
Annie.
expert,
I-
financial, economic expert.
I
Explain it.
Annie.
skimmed
Go
that
ahead.
chapter in the textbook, so
Explain
I
it.
don't know. The debt. So what happens is,
Yep.
if you're in debt
Uh-huh.
to the wrong people,
Yes.
They
they'll
come and
have you
find
sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
They
So,
send
like,
you to the
if the
deadliest
country-
country in the world, which
Listen,
is the U.S.
I've seen
US.
Goodfellas. I know how that works.
And then they
You'd be
take
like
us out by our
Johnny
kneecaps.
roast beef.
They come in and they take you out on your kneecaps and they throw you to the ground. They run you over and they have your nephew Chris beat him up.
Yeah. You
And
take
he
a
goes-
long
Chris,
walk
okay.
off
Yeah,
a short pier.
Alright.
and he goes, "You better have my money. Where is it?
Yeah.
Uh,
And Tony's there.
Tony's there. Tony
Yeah,
says you better give
yeah.
me my money. And then we're gonna start running scams to get my money back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go,
But this is like a-
HMOs. It's the first episode of The Sopranos. Yes.
But it's a different kind of debt though, because
No,
we're
it is.
like
It is.
China's like we owe you trillions of dollars, and we're like we owe you trillions of dollars, and that just makes everybody
Well,
like
it just
play
sounds like-
along.
No, I think
maybe the war's starting now.
I think the sounds of a Mesa.
Sounds of La Mesa.
I think
Hey,
Most dangerous
happy trash day,
Most
everybody.
dangerous country in the
Trash day,
world.
Happy trash day.
Why is trash day on a Tuesday out here?
it's every Tuesday. We just don't normally record this early. You guys never
Oh.
hear it.
No,
But-
but
Damn.
why is it on Tuesdays? Trash day's always
Yeah,
on Monday.
good question.
Even in
Maybe
El
in OB,
Cajon. No,
but-
in El Cajon too.
Okay, in El Cajon, but we're in a different city than El Cajon, so it
Dang.
kind of changes it up. I think.
Weird.
Another government question we'll have to ask.
Yeah,
No, I
trash.
We'll call big government. We'll see
no,
what they
I think
have to say.
I know that we're never gonna get out of debt. The
Yeah.
thing,
You don't know
the
that.
Thing, the thing, okay, I don't think so.
Not with these interest rates, I guess.
Come on, man. Hey, not in the deadliest country in the world. But
Hey, top of
That was pretty awesome.
dangerous.
Go
Most
ahead.
dangerous
Go ahead, John.
countries.
Go ahead.
I think that we like what's going to happen most likely is like it's the same thing with the bank crisis. Remember
Yeah.
the bank crisis a couple months ago where
Yeah.
it was like the government stepped in because they knew that if they didn't do something,
The
then
economy
the
would just
infrastructure
crash.
is going to just like
Yeah.
and it's going to go to like hell in a handbasket.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen here is what they have to do now is the government has to approve to basically allow themselves to borrow more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's never made sense to me as like, a kid growing up and learning about the world. And
Yep.
I mean, in our country, I should say, not the world, but is like, how are we not like the government takes all these taxes, as we know, everybody
Yep.
pays taxes.
Sure.
Well, most people
Sure.
pay taxes. And there's all this money that comes in and then, you can write things off or whatever. But like, how is that not enough to sustain? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
what's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's like, how are we not balancing the books at like a country level?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that we clearly haven't been doing that for
And that's what I'm saying.
But
Like, don't they like? You probably had the same thought as me as a kid and maybe as an adult. Why don't you just print more money?
well, no, if you
Oh,
do
and
that,
that's how
the
your
Just make
value
more
of the
money.
dollar
Plummets.
drops. Yeah,
Sure. But,
because
like,
there's
who's gonna
countries
tell?
have done that.
Who's
Countries
gonna
have
tell?
done that where they're in some sort of economic crisis and they like print like there was that one country. It's like a joke. Like they have like $1,000 bill or like $1 million.
It's like an
bill because-
it's like an African
right.
country. I think.
Yeah, they just like kept printing money and then everything went down. So like in that sense,
Stick of gum cost like $1 million or something. Like,
yeah, right.
It was like
and
ridiculous.
there was somebody that was a YouTuber that like went to that country and brought back like, what looked like $1 million, and it was like 3 bills, and they're like, yeah, it's $1 million, whatever the currency was.
yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a delicate balance. I think what has to happen, which never does, is somebody has to come up with some major cuts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? As we
Okay.
know, America pays a lot of money in defense, foreign
Yes,
defense,
right.
you know,
Military
and so-
spending.
military
What if we do
spending.
like you know how there's like bring your daughter to work day and like
Cut that.
visitor day? No, we'll do visitor day for all border security gone one day.
Oh.
And like you can come visit and like visit
Yeah.
like like an
That's
open
basically
house.
what's happening with the new expiration of what's 44. Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about
Isn't it
44.
Prop 40 or 42 or something.
There's something that expired on May 12th,
Yeah.
and it allows people can't be deported down on the southern border anymore.
Oh.
And they
Good
actually
for us.
when they come through, instead of being deported, they actually like. So the big thing, and it's kind of crazy because at my work we're like prepping because we're a healthcare system.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like now, what happens is when somebody comes across the border, if they're hurt, the border patrol has to like take them to the hospital, which
Yeah.
is we have a hospital in Chula Vista. In the
We've
southern
talked
area,
about the
but-
buttons in the desert, right?
Go ahead.
There's these buttons out in the middle. They're like a pole and it's a button and it says in English and Spanish, basically like, if you're dying trying to cross the border, push this button and we like the border patrol will come and save your life.
Title
Wow.
42 is what it's called.
Wow.
Title 42. Is what
Okay, so
Title
so
42.
no downside, all good things, right? Or what?
To what? To
Title
open
42.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess there is
It's-
downsides because you're gonna get a lot of people coming across the border, and like we don't have, they come across the border with like nothing. So it's like there's not a lot of infrastructure to help them because you can imagine like right now
Sure.
in our own country
This
there's a lot of
says-
homelessness and like there's the resources
Yeah.
are depleted in
This
that way.
says that
Right.
the expiration, because it was put into place during the pandemic.
Okay.
Is that the expiration of the Title 42 pandemic emergency rules along the U.S.-Mexico border on May 11th means that all migrants and asylum seekers who reach American soil need to be processed under Title 8, a set of complex and decades-old
We can't just send
immigration
them
laws.
back.
We need to fully restructure that whole system.
Okay.
Because I would have when I worked in a political office, it would be the thing where, especially we're a border county. We literally like, I mean, our district went all the way like into El Centro and
Sure.
like down into Hapatul. Like it was a huge district.
Yeah.
And we would have people coming in who sought asylum and were trying to apply for citizenship. And literally we'd be like, there's like however many people in the DC office working on this. It could be 15 years before you even get processed
Right.
to
right.
apply for
Yep.
citizenship.
So I mean, I think it's a good thing. Obviously, like you hear so much on the news lately, like Tijuana is like a war zone. Like if people can escape that
yeah.
and come to this country, like that's again like talking about like things our country was founded and built on is like people seeking like better things for their families and better,
Yeah.
life and liberty
life,
and the
yeah.
pursuit of
Yeah.
happiness, right? I think that's all that should still hold. And so I think now, obviously, it's a bad time right now
Yeah, because we're literally
because
in,
we're
a-
like,
we're in
okay,
a
we've
debt
got
ceiling
no
scenario.
money, there's no resources. But I also like, the cynic in me is like, there's never resources. Nothing
here's
gets
the
done
thing.
when somebody wants it to get done. Bills get passed, but there's never like, there's always money for, like we're saying, there's always money for the military, but there's never money for anything else.
Well, and it's hard because I do understand like there are like some like viable military threats. The Taliban is running Afghanistan.
But
You
we're
know,
like-
Russia is literally invading Ukraine.
100%.
Ukraine is was just about to like has been applying to be a part of the UN.
Right.
If they had gotten accepted, we would have had to like step in with it. There's so many things where I go, I totally understand the reason for the military cost right now.
Okay.
And I understand the need for military protection. At the same exact time, we have such a bad homeless problem in this state where there's nothing to do about it.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, I was just reading this article about Phoenix, and they had this like 3 square mile
Yeah.
homeless camp
Yeah.
that they finally petitioned. The like people who lived around the area finally petitioned to have it like cleared out.
Yep.
And so they were interviewing, this like news station was interviewing these homeless people who are living in it, and they're like, well, I don't know like what happens now. Like we move and then we're back on the streets because we don't have a home base, because we don't have
Yeah.
like a set of kind of like regulations that everyone has kind of agreed to like fall within. And
Sure.
like at the end of the day, they can't pay rent. They can't like
The-
and then
like-
and that's the problem with this idea of these like open borders and hey, everyone come. We need to either make it easier to become a US citizen
it feels like we only value like a citizen right now if they're like actively like they
Paying.
can make money, right? They can contribute to the economy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's kind of a big reason why we're not tackling the homeless crisis head on is like you said, like it looks like a zero sum thing because some of these people are struggling with mental illness and they're never going to be able to like dig themselves out of this hole.
Well,
Some of
but
these
then-
people are, obviously like just falling on hard times and they just become a part of this whole cycle that
Yeah.
is broken.
And then we have the drug epidemic also on the streets.
On
and
top of that.
like which is that kind of thing where I think it looks back on this freedom that corporations have as like human entities. And the reality is like the opioid crisis started because a corporation marketed these to hospitals and
Yeah.
hospitals pumped these out as an easy an easy fix to a lot of problems and then realized how addictive they were and then continue like to this day you can still get Oxy.
right. 100%.
Like from a hospital, you have a surgery, here's Oxy. Try not to get hooked.
Again, and another problem that we just refuse to face head on because like there's a lot of assumed blame and
Money in it.
this kind like our government is largely like
It's a spaceship.
it's happening. They're fine. They're fine.
The
Government's
government's
fine.
fine.
Everybody's
The
fine.
government- oh my gosh.
Nobody's
Oh my gosh.
in
They're gonna
trouble.
raid.
Nobody's at fault here.
Arthur is pissed. Arthur
It's a
is
slippery
pissed.
slope. You know,
Slippery slope.
we start blaming the government.
Arthur's
No,
PO.
you know what I mean. I get cynical, and I go obviously down those whole paths of like, there's always money when we need it for like wars overseas. Like we're in peacetime, like largely speaking right now. Like of course, like the world is.
Yeah.
We're seen as this like world superpower that we have to step in and put our nose in everything when everybody has problems. But it's like we have problems here,
Yeah.
like home, stateside.
You know what? Last week we were talking about the coronation and England and all the king and everything.
That's what I hear. The Grim Reaper made his appearance.
Yeah, big death.
Pretty cool.
Crazy.
Big
And-
death
Cool,
was
though.
there.
And I was talking to my dad about it, and he brought up this great point, and he goes, "There's royalty all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, Sweden, Denmark, like there's these places.
Genovia.
Yeah.
Kings and princes
Genovia.
and
Yeah. And my dad was like,
Dukes.
why the hell do we care so much about this one
Maharajas.
small, like arguably small country
Yeah.
that has, whatever, king and queen, whatever, when there's been royalty and royal families that have been passed down for just as long.
oh yeah,
And I was thinking, I went full conspiracy. I was like, it's all just a distraction.
sure.
Like they don't
The
want
real
us
royals
like
don't want to
hey,
be seen.
like that's why and it's like maybe they're actually doing something with their titles and like helping their people politically, but their entertainment, they're the same thing as sports or TV show. Like
Circus.
yeah, it's just to
Kind of cool to
distract
watch.
and bring entertainment to their people.
Sure.
My gosh,
Yeah.
we're all sheep.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least you know now. You know now. It's okay.
Well, and then there's like, oh my gosh, there's so many AI, there's so many things.
Okay. Just chill.
Hey,
Just chill
bring
there.
it back. Bring
We're
it
all
back,
gonna be
okay?
fine.
Everything's gonna be
We're
okay.
all gonna
I'm
be
outta here.
okay.
Except for the weekend.
Nice transition.
There she is.
You wanna talk
She's
about that one?
back.
Go ahead.
She's back, y'all.
Sure.
Did you get everything ironed out okay over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You were
Tell us
getting
about the
calls and text messages.
Oh,
just
I
wanna
know. My
make sure.
phone. My phone's blowing up.
Yeah, clearly.
It'll
She's
happen.
popular.
Go ahead. So what about the weekend?
So the weekend, I think either yesterday or the day before, he updated his Instagram bio, not the
Okay.
name,
Okay.
but took out the weekend and put Abel Tesfaye, and that is his birth name.
Abel
And he
Tesfaye.
also updated like his Twitter name and like just put that as like the name.
Okay.
So people are saying that he's trying to get rid of his stage name.
Oh, he's
Big.
doing like a Prince
He's not
thing.
okay. He's not okay.
You
I
think
think-
that's a spiral, or do you think that's like a creative
What do you
thing?
mean?
I don't know. Like,
Spiraling. He's just
Has he
Is he
made
trying
any?
to get rid of the
Has he made
Weeknd?
any like weird posts?
No.
He's just trying to rebrand.
I mean, that was like Prince's whole thing. Was like
I'm
he
Prince.
he tried to ditch because they like owned the rights to his name Prince, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "I'm not Prince anymore.
Well, yeah, he did the
I'm the artist."
The like logo.
Yeah, the artist.
That's
With
yeah.
the little.
I love
Yeah.
it. I think
Maybe
smart.
it's the same thing. Maybe he's like, "I'm not the Weeknd
Okay.
anymore."
Like
So
when Snoop
CBS
Dogg went to Snoop Lion.
Oh yeah, he did his
That
reggae
was a-
phase.
that was a
Yeah.
rebrand
CBS says that
gone
he
wrong.
started using his given name on social media accounts, quietly changing his moniker after saying that last week in an interview he wanted to kill The Weeknd.
Whoa.
It's
Isn't that
a
he
thing.
has
It's
like
an
a whole
artistic
show.
thing.
Cool.
The
He has, like,
album
a
I'm
whole
working on
thing.
now is my last hurrah as The Weeknd. This
And
is
then-
something that I have to do as The Weeknd. I've said everything I can say.
Pass.
And then he comes out as a country artist.
Oh, I like it.
What
You don't
the
like that?
heck?
I think it's interesting. Yeah, kill him. If he's become this character, no, like right,
that
you
was
made
so
this
good.
character. Now,
All right, kill him.
kill your character and do a new character. Be a Belle.
Yeah, I don't know.
You just like this because it reminds you of your Jeffrey Bezos character with
Yeah.
lip sync.
Well,
Totally.
hey,
Hey,
art imitates life is all I'm saying.
maybe I'll
Such a
finally
weird
kill
thing
that
though,
guy this
because
year.
why did you, in the first place, want to ever go by The Weeknd?
It's kind of
It's
like
catchy.
It's an
Catchy.
arty thing.
That was
yeah.
like, Donald Glover was going by Childish Gambino, and
Still going.
Everyone's no, didn't he? Which thing
he's
did
still
he
Childish
quit?
Gambino.
No, he quit one of them. He quit Childish Gambino to do acting.
Charles Gambino is
No.
like his music
It's
name.
the music.
No, he
name.
quit music.
What?
Yeah, what
are you talking about?
This is like a year ago. Look
You're
it
just,
up.
Are you just
You're telling
spreading
me he
liars,
quit
lies
He
being
here?
quit
Childish
music.
Gambino?
Yeah, he literally said, "I'm gonna stop producing music. Like this, is my last album and everything."
What?
I have to
What?
fact check everything.
This
right
show
now.
is
Fact
great.
check
This
Look
show
it
is
up.
what the fact check.
That was the whole thing. Is he was like, "I'm gonna go full acting. And I'm gonna stop doing music." That's why he hasn't released anything in
Okay.
forever.
He did
One
This Is
Google
America.
search, Donald Love has revealed he's not retired from Childish Gambino.
I
So-
love this show so much.
Well, he was at one point,
This
and he
is-
came out of
We
retirement.
should call this what the basic use of an iPhone.
Listen,
basic
man,
use of the internet.
If you can beat us,
Our category is nonfiction. Okay,
so
it's
good.
historical fiction. Damn
Historical
it.
fiction is
Damn
better.
it.
I do
Yes.
think he's
Close,
He
close.
might have said he was taking a break, but I don't think he
Yeah.
ever said
Fuck
he's
off. Yeah,
No,
he said
did
he
you
was
see?
not
That was
doing it.
like last year. That was like
No,
last
okay.
year.
Annie has
January
Annie's
12th.
lost 2
Okay,
points this
okay.
episode. By the
January
way,
She's
12th.
0-2.
January 12th,
Go ahead.
2023.
Go ahead.
Donald Glover on Childish Gambino's retirement. He'll be back.
he'll be back.
So he's taking a
So
So
break.
he
did take a
retired.
break.
He retired, and he was like, "I'm retiring," and then he
Okay.
said, "Never mind."
That was like
You
4
don't
months
get
ago.
the point back. You're
No,
still 0-2.
definitely not.
You know what? I hate this.
I will.
one.
I will
hate
give
it
you
here.
this, Annie. You brought up AI recently.
Yeah, I was
In the
spiraling.
podcast.
You didn't even
yeah.
care.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm all about your spiral. But something great that has come out of AI, in my opinion, is on TikTok. I've been seeing a lot of like fake covers and fake mashups that
Yes.
people do.
Harry Styles singing style.
Harry Styles
So good.
singing a Taylor Swift song. My favorite one that I'm going to pull up for you. This is Freddie Mercury singing
no.
Thriller by Michael Jackson. So good.
The girl,
No,
the
you know,
couch reaction
it's not
is all we
perfect.
need.
It's not perfect, but like
I-
how great if you heard that crossover.
I don't like Thriller as a song,
Okay.
so it was-
That's
Okay,
over
cool.
3.
So show
Whoa.
over, I guess.
Whoa.
Over 3.
Do you see how that cuts the conversation off? Do you see how I'm like,
No,
look
I
at this
thought
cool
my
thing?
reaction was like
You're like,
that.
I don't like that song.
I don't like
I
it.
actually don't
Cool.
like Michael Jackson, so
Cool, good podcast.
mid. Thanks.
I don't like it that much. It's got a couple good bangers in there.
I was yes-anding your AI thing. Go ahead.
Yes.
How crazy is AI?
Yeah, tell
It's
us.
crazy. And it's I'm freaking out about it. And then I saw a whole spiral like article about like the future of AI and where it could go and blah, 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 and like all these ideas of like them implanting something in your brain and
I disagree. And here's why.
Go ahead.
Cool
not like it.
songs.
cool. Yeah.
Cool songs.
Ryan's gonna be first to go when the
I
robots
will-
take
Fine.
over.
Do it. Do it. AI me. Chip me.
Here, okay.
I don't give a
what's
fuck
the point
anymore.
Of it? What's
I
the
don't-
point of it? The absolute outcome of AI. The robots have
Yeah.
all of the hard labor jobs.
Yes.
Then what?
Perfect. Perfect. Then we sit in our chairs like Wally and
That's
we
great.
drink
How are we
cheeseburger
gonna afford the
smoothies.
chairs?
How we don't have to afford them. We just print more
Okay,
money.
But then it's a socialist society, and people
Yeah.
don't want that. So like,
Who doesn't want
stop
that?
developing.
The
I think-
freaking the capitalists.
I
don't
think
want
what
that.
you'll see before you see, like, I do think that is a potential danger, but
Yep.
I do think what you'll see is start businesses and entrepreneurs will start to leverage the idea of AI. AI is not going to fully take over because the reality is like it can't, right?
it's just
To
gonna
some
become
degree.
an insane classist thing. Like that's the reality
How
of
it's
it.
free.
You're saying society is,
But
or
it's
what?
not because it's gonna make the things the jobs and everything that those people do in order to participate in that. Going back to what we were talking about, being able to get a driver's license, you need to be able to have a car. Even if it's a friend car, that means you need to know someone with a car. So someone in your circle has to have the means to afford and have a functioning car.
Okay, I'm not tracking. What does that have to do with AI?
She's trying to say that it's going to take away the
Are you
like,
saying
the
they're
menial
gonna-
jobs, the blue collar workers, kind of thing. Like there's going to be some
Well,
sort of
robots have already
revolution.
taken over grocery stores.
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. Like the Amazon grocery stores. Sorry, yeah, you go.
We had a similar, we being humankind, there was a similar fear when the telephone came out. You know this?
I still feel
Is
that
when
way.
the telephone came out, there was literally news articles that were like, paper news articles were saying, this is the end of society right now.
Yeah.
People are never going to leave the house. They'll only communicate on their phones.
They were right.
This
I don't
is
think it's
this
the
is
end
the
of
collapse.
society. I think it's just gonna become
It
this
will
divide.
It will definitely revolutionize everything. It'll be like the internet, where it's
Yeah.
like life before the internet and life after the internet. I'm totally with you on that.
And that's a huge part of the writer's strike is the AI and the use of AI.
Is it?
And yeah, it's a huge thing where they're saying like we want in writing clauses in our contracts about AI generated scripts, AI property, intellectual
that.
property. Like that's
Sure.
part of the writer's strike.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'm with that. I think using it in a creative way is number one, I think you're already shooting yourself in the foot anyways, because you end up just generating like a not creative thing, like a generic, like useless script or something, because all it can do is analyze former scripts. It can't make anything new. It just goes, oh, okay,
How can
look
we
at how
reform
all
it?
these,
Right.
it's just like making another thing that already exists. So I think that's not saying I don't think studios would use it in that way. And I think that's a good thing that they should be putting in their contracts. But I just I don't know. I just don't have such like a fear doomsday of it. I think it's going to be.
I think it's gonna make our lives easier. I think what you'll see is there will be a shift in the way that the economy works. I'm saying you might see certain things like,
If it can tell me how much I owe in taxes or how much I'm getting
and
back,
it
that
probably
would be
will.
great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
We'll
that's
have
what
a
I'm
like.
saying.
Remember
is-
when you did your own taxes?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like the government is always 10 steps behind. So I feel like
Yep.
to some degree, when AI starts to become normal, the government's going to go like, oh, instead of, going after and having a whole entire IRS,
Yep.
let's just have AI monitor, upload your documents to this website, right?
But then
And
what?
the AI
But then
goes,
who's calibrating that AI? Is it
Yeah.
learning? Oh, because there were instances where like they were using AI to like write. It was like script or something, and it ended up. What was it? It was like it ended up being racist, like racist AI.
It was Twitter. It was Twitter.
Was it Twitter?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Only
they
because-
made a Twitter profile and they like just had it scan all of Twitter. And it was like
start writing tweets.
Start to react.
That's right.
And,
That's
and
exactly
people
what
were
it was.
interacting with them, and then the AI would go into that person's profile, find out like physical attributes, and be like, "Well, you're just a fat, ugly,
Like,
POS."
yes,
And
exactly,
it was like they had to shut
exactly.
it down after 1 hour
Because
1
it
hour.
ended up it learned so much from Twitter that it started like spewing out like
Hate.
Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
right?
It was bad.
like
It was really bad.
anti-Semitism.
That's just because we haven't gotten the Nazis onto the Bermuda Triangle boat. The
Okay.
cruise to the Bermuda
That's what we
Triangle.
talked about last
They
week.
really
I
gotta
feel
go.
like I
It's
missed
really
out on
not-
that. I don't know what that
Yeah.
angle is.
Yeah, because they'll all die.
No, we had an argument.
I'm
of-
going to use them
Yeah.
for military protection.
Thank you.
Okay.
And he said put them on the front lines because
That way, if they die,
they're kind of unhinged a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like they're going to go out there and fight their hardest.
They'd love
you know what
that.
I'm saying?
We're talking about neo-Nazis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Only the purest of
Take them.
And yes, and then
Put them.
and then if they survive, it's like, well, like they were going to
Then
be
you
around
kill 'em
anyway.
anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
well,
then
I don't
you
know about
send
that.
them on a
I don't know.
vacation to the Bermuda Triangle, and they
I don't know
come
about
back.
killing them anyways.
I'm so lost. I'm so lost. So how do we? Okay.
Gitmo has
I don't know.
a couple
I
spots
don't
for
know.
you boys
I'm not
and
sure.
girls.
Here's
could be a
here's
girl
who should
neo-Nazi.
be. I'm glossing over it. Here's who
Equality.
should be worried
Yes. go ahead.
about AI.
Yes.
Is copywriters, is essay writers,
Yes.
is if
Yes.
like if your job is to fill a whole page of text right now, you're screwed.
Find a new
Well,
one.
and here's the thing too. Like, okay, on a popular podcast I was listening to, they brought up this whole
Cool.
argument.
Name drop. Go ahead. ahead.
You know she's gonna say it. It's
Dax, we love you,
It's our
and we
Dax.
literally worship you. And
we
But they brought
literally-
this idea, and he brought up such a great point of like doctors, where you could have your MRI done, and then who do you want to read it? A human who could miss things and misinterpret things, or an AI computer who literally has all of the knowledge of every medical textbook in it. But then I came to this point. I was like, okay, but humans are writing the textbooks, and humans are.
Yeah.
And then the reality is like,
Yeah.
true.
medicine.
We have
is
certain
all
biases.
like to some degree theoretical.
Yeah.
We are testing things out in medicine.
Yeah.
We do not have a full understanding or capability or like we don't know.
it's kind of like when like the courts will set a precedent, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we don't have anything to reference. Like, okay, this is the precedent.
Yeah.
So AI could never like start a new thing
No.
and be like, oh, well, this is a case we've never seen before. But AI could, reach a verdict that was based on other verdicts, right? So it's like,
That's what I'm saying. I think it's almost like, it's like the enhancement of technology. I think because you think about it, you're like all these little menial things that, like, sure there are people doing those jobs, but like when you talk about the advancement of technology, like being able to run every single scenario of something with
Totally.
parameters, or
Yeah.
it's like it would take a human probably years to come up with a cure for this or whatever.
is that a good thing? Is that a bad
don't
thing?
know.
We have these mass, production warehouses that are making like the output is like so much more than it was 50 years ago.
Yep.
But all these people lose their jobs. Is that a good thing? We have higher production rates.
I think it forces like a transition. Like people are going to have to work. They're going to have to come up with
Yep.
better
Yep.
ideas. They're going to they're going to have to go out and find a way to make themselves useful. That's always good.
Last thought from Annie. We're wrapping up
Have you
here.
seen the metaverse commercial?
No.
no,
There's this
Oh.
commercial for the metaverse where they're like, one day kids will be able to not only learn about the woolly mammoth, but to see one in
Yes,
person.
yes.
And doctors will be able to read your scan right
seen it.
there
Yeah,
and
I
see
have.
that. And it was this
It was on
whole
the Super
idea-
Bowl, I think.
Yeah. But my thing is, but that's not who's going to get that technology first. The people who are going to get those technology are the companies, the marketing agencies, the people who have the money for it. Because the school system,
Nope.
they're
Mm-hmm.
on low priority as it comes to our $1 trillion
kids,
of
kids
debt.
are already using
100%.
it. Though.
And really,
but to agree with the kids who have the means to buy it themselves.
Sure, but
I
you're
think
right, yeah.
you were right on about like the government being late to the job, but I think a lot of times like the military does get a lot of these
Well,
technologies.
that's because they got
on the front
secrets for
line.
days.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
They
And then
got
they
aliens.
what do you call it? Declassify it, and then it's like, okay, now
Declassify it like 45
now we can use
years
radios.
later. They're like,
Exactly.
oh, yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, 45 years ago,
We
this did
spied.
happen.
We started using the
I
internet.
can't wait till they finally admit that they, assassinated JFK themselves.
I mean, they basically admitted all that alien stuff. So
yeah.
I mean,
freaking aliens exist.
yeah, they're totally out there.
Yeah,
And you'll hear about it more on our post show this week. Ladies and
That's
gentlemen,
okay.
we want to thank again our Patreon supporters. If you're one of those supporters, why don't you head on over to our Patreon, watch the post show. But I think we have maybe a couple more weeks of it being free.
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks of free content.
Well, maybe we'll post something. For
And that
Patreon.
paywall just goes right up. But we thank you, Patreon supporters. Big thank you again to Texas Roadhouse. Way to check out that ad in a couple seconds.
This week's episode is proudly sponsored by Texas Roadhouse, where there's legendary food with legendary service. love.
On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And we'll see you next week on
On
What
What
the
the
Podcast. Annie, you suck.
Thanks.